No more bones to take a lollipop. No more bones to take a lollipop. No more bones to take a lollipop. The power of best friends. So once upon a time in Asia, everybody thought that elephants and dogs were like foes because like elephants were annoyed with dogs and dogs were scared of elephants. If an elephant sees a dog while eating, he will attack him. So then, if the dog is sleeping, the elephant will also automatically attack him also. But when the dog is scared, he barks very loudly to cover his fear, and he barks it so the elephant feels very annoyed. So then there was also a rare it was also like a lion and tiger, mice and rat. So then mice and cat. So then one day there were one weird situation. There was like a poor dog that was stray and he did not have anything to eat. While the elephant was in the palace having nice food to eat. So the dog became jealous and sneaked inside for something to eat because it smelled like very good. So then, when he stole some food to eat. The elephant didn't notice because he was very small because he was not well fed and he did not have anything to eat and no person to take care of. So then he 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 did that for a few days. Then he got bigger and bigger and bigger, and then he one day he was eating, and then the elephant noticed him. So then the elephant and dog were like, okay. And then they got awkward. So then they made each other friends. So it became better and better friends. So there was like a man that wanted to buy the dog. So the king said, just go and get the dog. No charges. He is just a stray dog. Go and get him. I don't really want him to be with the elephant. They're foes. So then the salesman took him far away in the forest. So then the dog, in midnight, the dog sneaked away back to the palace with the elephant while the elephant was waiting and was very sad. But when in the morning, when he finished sleeping, when he awoke, the elephant saw the stray dog and was overjoyed. So they hugged each other and like they rejoiced. So another day, like the salesman came to pick up the dog again. He was the elephant was depressed again. So he waited for a long time. So the elephant never ate and never drank anything, not even the foods he liked. So the minister said, maybe the dog is the friend, and the elephant might miss him. So I think it's time to get the dog here. And then the dog was also worrying about the elephant, so they both were sad. So then both of them were very sad and was overjoyed to see each other again because the ministers went to take the dog back to the palace. So they were overjoyed. They went into the lake and they played with water like all day, and they ate delicious food, and then they played and slept together that night. So then like the elephant and dog said that they were very happy to be each other's friends, and it was very rare. So that was the story of best friends. The summary of the story is there was like a elephant and dog, and then they were friends, but it was very rare. So then the dog was eating some food, and then he got bigger and bigger and bigger. So then they made friends when the elephant noticed. So then when 2 times the salesman wanted to buy the dog and elephant were sad. So the first time the elephant was just sad, not very sad. When the dog returned, he was happy, and then the second time he was depressed, like very badly. So then like he was the dog was the elephant was depressed and the dog was depressed. So and at the end, when they returned, and the ministers said that they should return to each other because maybe they were friends. So when they returned, they were playing with each other happily, and then like and then and then like they always be best friends like forever. So they were like a person and a person together, like best friends, like in human being. So they never left each other. And the moral is foes can be best friends. One example is between my grade school friend, like she was named Cadence, and like now it's summer vacation, so I said something or whatsoever, and that damaged our friendship, but I didn't know what I said. We just hung out regularly. Like one time I called, and then we talked, and then like our friendship ended, like or somehow, and like she gets mad at me like very easily. Like that's and I just tell her, I just ask her what's the problem, but all the times like she lies and says like my mouth hurts, I didn't want to talk, like, and then like more excuses. But I didn't know that she was mad when she told me, but I wasn't mad at her because I know I said something wrong. So that was what I got. So like when this time, like this time, like she was mad at me, like furious, like very furious. But I I always like just miss her. Like I wish I knew what I said and take it back because I didn't want to see her like getting angry from from one of the noble truths, like I think like from the noble truths, like but I still like remember her, and like I wish she stopped suffering from anger, like greed, anger, and sex, like one of those. So then like I wish she would like stop suffering, because that like she was my friend, like not anybody else. We were best friends like for until now, because I met her like only for 1 year, and but I met a friend named Christina, and she was very playful, and I met like her like from a few weeks, and she was nice. She was kind of like me with a wacky sense of humor, but she had a very wacky sense of humor, like more than Kaden. And she doesn't get mad. Like she had he had only like a few friends. Now I'm one of her friends. So I still miss Cadence, but Christina is now like I'm far away from Cadence now. Like she like avoided me now. So it's like the dog of the salesman took the dog like from far away. Like it's the same with Cadence and me, but now it's rejoiced because I met another friend named Christina, so it's okay now. So another example, which is what I read in the book, was like there's a burglar, and then the burglar was friends with another adult. He was also stealing stuff since childhood, so they were friends, and they were like a gang, but two. So then when they wanted to steal something, the other burglar ran away, so they were broken up. But then he met a good person. Like he mended his ways and lived happily ever after. Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật.
Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. So one day in northern India, an area called Benares, there was two beautiful deer. One deer was named King Banyan deer, and another one was named Branch deer. So the king of Benares, the actual king, not the deer, he liked to eat deer meat a lot. And every night he would always eat the deer meat. But what he would do was that he would come to the village and force the villagers to stop what they're doing and to feed him the deer meat. Soon after that, the villagers got really tired of him always interrupting their work, because as he kept interrupting them, their businesses went down and fewer crops were grown. So the villagers decided that they would grow the king their own deer park just for him to get dinner. So the deer park includes all of the deer in the land, and ponds and lakes for the deer. So every night the king would force his workers to kill a deer and bring it to the dinner table for the king to eat. Because of this, the two beautiful deer decided to make an agreement that every night one deer from the park would sacrifice himself and let himself die to feed the deer, or to feed the king. But one day, an unfortunate pregnant deer came up to the branch deer and asked to be let free from being killed, because she wanted to see her baby before she was killed, and she wanted to give that baby life before they were killed. The branch deer said no and to leave him alone. But then the pregnant deer went to the king banyan deer and asked the king banyan deer the same thing. The king banyan deer said that she will be free and that she can go on and do whatever she wants. The king banyan deer later on sacrifices himself and puts his head on the executioner's block. When the king immediately saw the beautiful deer on the block, he stopped and asked the deer, why did he let himself go? Because the banyan deer knew that he was given the pass. So the deer told the king that a pregnant deer came up to him and asked for forgiveness and begged to let her baby see life before she was killed. When the king heard the deer story, he started crying because of how generous the deer was being. So as the king heard the story of the pregnant deer, the king told the banyan deer that the king will now give all four-legged animals a pass to not be killed or eaten. But the king banyan deer was still not satisfied. The king banyan deer asked, but what about the birds? So the king said, all birds will now have a pass to never be eaten again. But then the deer was still unsatisfied. The deer asked, what about the fish? So then the king said the fish will now have a pass to never be eaten again. So as this continues on, the deer finally is satisfied, and then the king says and agrees that all animals on his land would never be killed and eaten again. So the moral, or to summarize the story, basically two beautiful deer made an agreement in a park that would help prevent the king from wounding all the deers by agreeing that they would have one deer sacrifice himself to the king. So as this happens, a pregnant deer, it was a pregnant deer's turn to sacrifice herself, but she didn't want to because she thought it was unfair to have the baby not see life before she dies. So one of the deers, the king banyan deer, decided to sacrifice himself, and because to the king, because he thought that it was unfair for the pregnant deer to die before seeing her baby. The king stopped the king banyan deer and asked why he was sacrificing himself, and then he told the king because he didn't want the pregnant deer to die. When the king heard about how generous the deer was being, the deer made a deal with the king to let all animals on land never be eaten or killed again, and then the king agreed. So the moral of the story is to, if you sacrifice a need or want of yourself, bigger blessings are coming your way. And one thing that would relate that to my life is one day I had a pencil, right, in school. I had my favorite pencil, and my friend didn't have a pencil. So I gave my favorite pencil to my friend, right? But the next day, when I didn't have a pencil, my other friend gave me a better one, and it was even more better than my favorite one. And that proves my moral, because I sacrificed my favorite pencil to my friend without knowing that to the next day when I'm in need of another pencil, I would have a better one, which means like a better blessing on my way. And to relate to a story, um, there is no story that could really relate to this topic. So, namo namo bonso te kamo ni fag, namo bonso te kamo ni fag, namo bonso te kamo ni fag.